This is Jane with Political Gravity. We are doing a show tonight on the civilian structure and the dynamics of what went down in Kenosha as far as fractured culture and the confrontation between the authoritarian police, the Wisconsin militia, and Kyle Rittenhouse's underage invasion of trying to settle matters that should really be settled between adults. Here we go.
Stay tuned for a better song. One moment, please. Descent. His father was killed by his enemies at the age of 9. And not only that, his wife was widowed with about 7 children, and the village abandoned the family. His enemies stalked the widowed children and wanted to enslave Genghis Khan. They finally got their wish, but he escaped slavery when he snuck into a nearby river late one night. One of his captors in the village did not reveal his whereabouts, and he got away. He went on to be a strong warrior, overtaking thousands of miles of land in many countries and many civilizations. He was harsh about obedience, but tolerant towards other religions and culture. Tonight's topic is Kyle Rittenhouse, the graffiti killer, and Genghis Khan, the killer of all time. Kyle Rittenhouse is a teenager motivated by hate and bias from Illinois in a demented cause of justice. Even Fox News was praising him on his ability to clean up graffiti and stand with militiamen in front of a gas station, telling a reporter that he is armed and lethal, but not revealing his age. He was armed, unauthorized, and a juvenile who was misusing force. I do not uphold or applaud him. He is a 17-year-old accused of killing 2 protesters and injuring another with an AR-15 style rifle in Kenosha. On Tuesday night, he was charged as an adult with 2 counts of first-degree homicide and 1 count of attempted homicide. The teen Kyle Rittenhouse also faces charges of recklessly endangering the safety of 2 other victims and possessing a weapon while under the age of 18. On July 1st, there's video coverage of him supposedly assaulting a woman in the same city of Kenosha. So I'm going to pull in the callers in the order that they called in. And first, I'm going to talk to Dave Bowe a minute because he has a military background. Hi, Dave. How are you doing?
All right.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah, so based on my introduction and Genghis Khan throwing that in, what did you have to say about my introduction?
I thought it was good. I wasn't expecting comments about Genghis Khan, but yeah, you always surprise me.
Tell me about it.
He was an interesting character.
So, by the way, kind of the whole thrust of our radio show tonight is about war and people. Part of it's people not respecting civilians of dissenting belief systems. Another part is just the war culture in general. Do you want to say any reflections on that before I call in 5 other hosts? Because one of our callers, Albert, hasn't called in a good 6 months.
Well, I mean, I served 20 years in the military. I've been to war, and yeah, I'm certainly not a.
Were you in the first Gulf War?
Yeah, I was in the first Gulf War. I was not in Vietnam, as some people would ask me.
You're not that old.
People ask me that. Were you in the Vietnam War? I'm like, no. No, I was in the first Gulf War. I was in Bosnia, which wasn't a war, but it's peace enforcement. So,
do you think that America is a warring nation as civilians and overseas?
It is a warring nation. It's evolved over the past couple of centuries from a country that wouldn't hesitate to go to war, but in its first century, it would go to war, and when it ended the war, it immediately went back into a peacetime mode. There was a time when Congress was very stingy about funding the military. It's not like today's Congress, where they just, they throw the shovels of money at the military as much as they can. There was a time when the military had to scratch and claw to get any sort of funding for the military. Unless, of course, when war was declared, then Congress had to, okay, we'll give you some money, and we'll go and fight the war, get it done, and then once the war was done, we went back to peacetime footing again. So, but we always kind of found a way to fight somebody, whether it was the Mexicans, whether it was the Indians in the different parts of the nation, our own Civil War, our little adventures in Central America, what have you, the Spanish, and of course in the 2 World War Wars. So if you look at our history overall, one could say that, gosh, it seems like we're always in a conflict. Whether it was an official war or a conflict or maybe a skirmish with the Barbary pirates, we were always mixing it up with somebody. But
not to mention that Eisenhower and the Dulles brothers had a covert war in Iran when they chained Mossadegh to his house. And then you're right, the banana wars down in Central America and the National Food Company and enslaving people in their own land in Central America.
Right. I mean, it was as much as we claim to be, different from like the European powers, we pretty much, just like them, we got sucked into the world event because as our nation grew, so did our interests, and we had to protect our interests, and that's basically about it.
I agree, and with that, I'm going to pull in. I'm going to have you say one more thing, and then I'm going to pull Albert in, because I know people are anxious to get into this conversation.
Not a problem. I don't want to hog. But,
okay, yeah. Let's say hi to Albert. Hi, Albert.
Hey, what's up?
We're glad that you called, and Don and John will be happy to talk to you tonight, as well as myself and Wade. And thank you for calling in. What do you think of the headline news these days, Albert?
Well, there's been a lot going on. Protesters getting shot in the face, and losing their eyes by the secret policemen. call them secret policemen because nobody really knows. Everybody just makes speculation, but there's no tags or no name tags or no nothing on them. So I just call them secret policemen. Anyways, so yeah, that's been going on. There's even video on the Real News Network of a girl being arrested just for blowing bubbles. Yeah, she was blowing bubbles, so she got arrested for that. And also on the Young Turks actually talked about something interesting that was not mentioned in the corporate media, which I also looked at the case on Beyond the Trailer, that the policemen, before they did the no-knock warrant, when they asked the judge for to get the warrant, before they can get the warrant, their specs was that there was a suspicious letter coming to her, and so they wanted to, they thought it was drugs, but then further investigation thought when they spoke to, in charge of the mailing and stuff, they said that the policeman never came to ask for that, and they never requested to get that information. So they actually lied about that. They lied to get the warrant. Some more lines and stuff like that. Also on Kyle Rittenhouse, when he, of course, he shot 2 people, injured another guy. And then the police let him go.
No,
and then
John has a backstory to that.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, Wade, John, and Don are on the air. But you can finish, Albert. Go ahead.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I don't talk. You know me. I don't talk like 10, 15 minutes like the other guys do. I do like a 5-minute speech and that's it. But anyways, I know some of the people here like to talk for like half an hour straight before they finish. But anyways, like I was saying, So anyways, on the Kyle Rittenhouse, you were talking about it, and you mentioned a couple of things, but not everything. But I just wanted to finish up on what happened, right? So the police actually gave him water and told him he was doing a good job and they appreciate his work. So they literally gave water to Kyle Rittenhouse. So they obviously had some kind of connection with him already. Before he went out there and shot the people. And then after he shot the people, everybody was, pointing at him and yelling that he killed people, and Kyle Rittenhouse just walked away to the police, and the police told him, hey, anybody injured? And he's like, yeah, and like he just continues walking to the police, and everybody's still yelling at them as the cops passing by. He's the one that killed the people, and they didn't stop him. So, Kyle Rittenhouse went to his house. And the next day, they arrested him. And they actually, before they even arrested him, a lot of people on social media was already, I guess somebody in the crowd, when that happened, already knew him and ratted him out or something. So they gave the information to somebody or something, and people all on YouTube. There's YouTube video and proof right there. Like people were already finding him on Facebook and whatnot, and already saying that was Kyle Rittenhouse before the next day when the cops came to arrest him at his house. So obviously the people were telling, already knew his name. So I guess the cops had to do something since the people knew exactly who it was. So that's why the cops, the next day actually went to his house to arrest him. And actually, they charged him with one murder.
I'd like to mention something about that.
They only
I
charged
watched
him
the
with one
video.
murder, not 2 of them. He was only charged with one murder. And by the way, also too, the police are investigating the 2 people that got shot, and then the third person that got injured. They're checking their backgrounds. They said one of the person that died had a criminal background and blah 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 blah. So it's kind of like a reverse investigation. Instead of investigating the person that shot, they're investigating the people that got shot. That's kind of backwards. But yeah. But anyways, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I did watch video of somebody, and he was hanging out with these militiamen, and apparently Wisconsin's an open and carry state. And you're right, the cops were really friendly with them. They said, yeah, we can give you guys a few waters. We have to keep a few, but we can give you a few. And then I heard a cop say at least 3 times, he said, you guys are doing a good job. You guys are doing a great job.
They only throw one water, and they throw it to Kyle Rittenhouse. They give it to Kyle Rittenhouse, the only water, and then they said, that's all we have.
Okay, sorry, but I saw the part right before that where the cop said, sure, we can spare you a couple waters, but what they were basically doing is the cops are praising the militiamen for protecting the gas station that was already damaged. And then this Kyle Rittenhouse creature, he had purple gloves on and red, white, and blue Crocs. He could stand out easily in a crowd, but I'm going to defer to John, Don, and Wade. John, why don't you comment on what Albert said?
Yeah. By the Kyle Rittenhouse didn't have the license to carry open or concealed. He didn't have a license to carry a gun openly anyways, by the way. I mean, he's 17.
And by the way, he also got pulled over 2 weeks ago for speeding 24 miles over the speed limit, and I don't even think he has a valid license. So with that, let's talk to somebody else who's on top of this. Go ahead, John.
John?
Well, hello, Judge Hoffman and jury of Kyle's peers. That's part of the story. Actually, Kyle was 17. You have to be 18 to carry weapons. There was an 8 p.m. curfew. No one was really supposed to be out, not the protesters nor Kyle. Kyle drove 30 minutes into town. The other men who were shot drove 30 to 49 minutes into town to be there. He'd been there the previous night with a group of men, a team. Basically, they were people trying to watch for any violence to property, to lives, any building trying to be burned or destroyed. They were out there. This isn't some mystery. There's video of him talking with reporters and just saying, we're out here just to keep peace, and just if someone gets hurt, we will take them to the hospital. Now, what happened is that evening, Joseph Rosenbaum and also Anthony Huber and Gage Grosskreutz, basically, somewhere in the evening, they engaged as far as Rosenbaum started arguing. Now, who started it? We don't know. Looking at video, it's a whole group of people. You can see Rosenbaum being very adamant and yelling. Somewhere along in the conversation, Kyle left, was going down the street, and was pursued by Rosenbaum, who threw an object at him. You can see it in video. He ducked and missed it, and then he continued to run, and whereupon Rosenbaum overtook him, who was going to attack him, and got shot and killed. At that moment, I'm looking at video, everyone started running over there and saying he shot somebody, and Kyle proceeded to run down the street. At that point, a whole group of people, a mob, was following him.
He was trying to run away from the scene.
Trying to run away from the scene. Now, here's the situation. Going back to the Blake situation. His back was
he only got chased after he ran away from the scene, though, because, it's hit and run, right? If you run away from the scene, you're trying to get away with murder, right?
Again, he was pursued and defended himself. I'm talking as
I saw the video. He was pursued, indeed. Yes, he was. Only after he ran away.
He was pursued. No, I'm talking in the initial encounter with Rosenbaum. He was pursued, object thrown at him. He was overtaken, and when he was overtaken, because he's not that fast of a runner, he fired and shot and killed Joseph Rosenbaum. Now, he continued after that to go down the street, and people again for the second time, was pursued. Again, back turned, again going away. Not a threat. A threat is when someone engages you and attacks you. Both situations, he was running away, being pursued. One of the gentlemen threw his skateboard at him. Kyle trips, and he jumps up on top of him. And as you can see in video, if you study it, the person that he shot in the hand had a gun in his arm, in his hand. You can see that in video. Just look at the pictures.
I saw the video. By the way, the skateboard was nowhere near him. By the way, the skateboard that you speak of, I saw that video multiple times. The guy who ran behind him looks like he punched him in the back of the head, but I don't see any skateboards being thrown at him. You know?
Right, and again, you're being chased by someone who has a gun, who's ready to point at or beat you down.
I saw the video too, but I also saw the guy that snatched the gun from Kyle Rittenhouse, the handgun. He pulled the magazine out and he dropped it on the ground and threw the magazine in a different area. But here's the question: even though after he snatched the gun from him, he got shot in one of the arms, he still had another arm. Why didn't he come after Kyle Rittenhouse for revenge and shot him? I mean, he had a handgun. He could have shot after Kyle Rittenhouse got up and continued to run away. He had the back. He could have shot him he could have shot Kyle Rittenhouse right in the back as he was running away because he had his hand shot, but he did not. He decided to pull the magazine out of the handgun and throw in different areas.
They're burning down buildings because Blake was shot in the back walking away from a cop. And here we have a gentleman running for his life. I'm sure if you're pursued by 10 or 20 people or more yelling, "Get him, go get him," he shot somebody, you're running for your life, right? And people think who knows if they has a weapon.
The guy with the handgun had one hand shot and the other hand free, so he still could have shot Kyle Rittenhouse, but he chose not to. So why he didn't do it? Why did he do it?
Why? If you are told someone just shot someone and you're chasing them and they have a weapon, is it not logical to think this person is going to shoot me if I continue to chase them and assault them? Is that logical? Does that make sense?
The video showed that he gave his back to Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse could have shot him again, but of course he after that he saw that he was backing down, so he ran away too. So then Kyle Rittenhouse had his back to him. Obviously the first person who turned his back and walked away was the guy who got shot with the handgun.
Well, they actually weren't walking away. They backed up because he fired, but then you'll see that the second guy who got shot was pursuing him again, was walking into him again, and he got shot and killed because, again, if you have 20 on one or 100 on one, you know you're going to get the crap beat out of you, or you're going to get killed. I mean, it's a mob. You know that they're going to beat him until he's unconscious.
Well, here's the thing. Why would the mob beat him unconscious right in front of the cops? Because the cops were like right half a block away. They were like, the cops were literally seeing everything from half a block away. And literally, like a couple seconds ago when he walked, he just passed by the cops a couple seconds later after that. So, first of all, why would the crowd beat him up right in front of the police officer? And after he killed that guy, that tried to grab his gun from him, and then shot the other guy in the hand, they had the handgun, right in front of the cops. He just walked past them and they did not arrest him.
As he's on the ground, the man standing. So again, if he's running from them, is he a threat to them?
You guys, we have 3 people. We have 6 people on the air, so we're going to have to give Wade and Don and Dave both. We need other people to respond, you guys.
No, of course.
Okay, hold on a second, John. Hold on a second, John and Albert. Okay, listen, guys. I have to talk for a minute. I want all 6 of you guys to address if the Kenosha police should have had some moratorium on open and carry, people who were protecting civilian property that was part of the problem by allowing these people to carry guns. Violence broke out. So I'm going to have Don comment and Wade and Dave, because Dave's not going to be able to stay on the line forever. And then John and Albert, you can go back to what your argument was. Go ahead.
No, I'm pretty much finished. I'm just, I'm really answering to your question that, the cops did not allow him to open his carry gun because he doesn't have a license. He's underage. Obviously, he has to pass the test. But no, none of that.
Do you know where Trish is, Carla?
But Albert, do you think that in this civilian strife where there had been protests for many days, do you think that the open and carry, whether they were militia or not, yes, they can stand there and protect property, but if they're starting to hassle the protesters and try to determine who's worthy and who's not worthy to walk the streets, what do you think about that?
Let me tell you something interesting. Let me tell you, the sheriff and the captain from that police department, the same police department that let Kyle Rittenhouse go out there and kill people, he literally said that he was basically saying that was the protesters' fault. He said that the protesters should have been out there, and if they wouldn't have been out there, they wouldn't got shot. Basically, blaming the protesters that that's their fault. That's why they got shot. And then the other officer next to him in the video, just a month before that, he was talking about how those black people should be thrown in prison and locked up and throw away the key, and and just don't let them have any babies. They should be out there having babies and stuff like that. So they literally, I mean, they sound really racist. I mean, that police department is really you just hear them talk, they just really sound racist. Anyways, here's the thing. If Kyle Rittenhouse would have gone to the legal procedures to obviously to try to get a license to be able to get a gun in the first place, right? Because you gotta, I mean, obviously the guns that he's using are like his dad, his mom, or something like that. Obviously, you have to be over 18 and up to literally, register to buy a gun and own a gun to your name. Then you have to apply for the open carry, which you have to take a test, and then they do a really hard investigation besides, because obviously the 10-day waiting period to get a gun, that's just they do a criminal background check. But when you apply for the CCW, CC, that's open or something. I forgot what it's called, but it's open carry, the license. When you apply for that, there's a lot more to that. I looked it up too because I wanted to get one too, but it was just way too much. It was just way too much work and testing, and and a lot of money spending so you don't even know if you even pass it now or you can get the test, because you're interviewed by the captain of, and they give a lot of interview questions and stuff like that. Anyways, so if Kyle Rittenhouse wouldn't go to the proper procedure, to try to do that, of course they would have denied him in the first place, and he wouldn't have been out there with his assault rifle in the first place, and that killing would not have happened in the first place if he would have gone to the proper procedures. That would not happen, But he obviously went out there with an assault rifle, not
right, we understand that.
And,
I'm going to pull in another host now, and you can talk with John or Wade. Go ahead.
Either way, you ready, Don? Or I got some things to say.
Go ahead, Wade.
Okay.
This is all forest for the trees. Hi, everyone.
All right. So,
Hi.
I'm wondering if people are wanting to get to the truth, or if people just made their decision. I'm hearing about how hateful he was, and are we looking for the truth, or have we already decided? I mean, because in this country, it should be innocent until proven guilty, and we should get to the facts of the matter and see what was happening. Now, I don't know, they need to work this out in court. Maybe he wasn't supposed to have the gun, underage. That's something I heard. Maybe it wasn't smart to be there. But when someone is chasing you down, and an eyewitness said Rosenbaum was grabbing his gun. There was other footage of this guy Rosenbaum being very threatening. He seemed like a bully. He's grabbing the guy's gun. What, and there have been like 30 other killings going on after these riots, and we're just calling them protesters, but the other point of view is maybe these guys were attackers. Maybe they weren't for being protesters. They were killed for trying to hurt someone. That's the case. Grabbing his gun. What? Okay, so maybe he messed up by being there with the gun
by himself.
But
why wasn't he with the other groups of the other guys with the guns? Why wasn't he there by himself?
Okay, we don't know. Maybe he got separated somehow. But once but now he's getting chased by this guy, which it looks like they were mad at him because he put out a dumpster fire that they wanted to start. So he's getting chased by this guy. The guy's grabbing his gun. Obviously, the guy, is pretty threatening, could take his gun away and shoot him. Is he supposed to just allow that to happen? That's my question. If someone's attacking you and you got a gun and you don't know, it looks like they're going to kill you. Is the thing now you're supposed to just let them do it?
I would not put myself out in danger. If I was out there with a gun, I'd be in the group of safety, in the safety net of the group. I saw the videos and I saw the other gunmen, and they were all bunched up in a group. So why was Kyle Rittenhouse there all the way out there by himself?
Hey,
I would too, yes, but that doesn't answer my question.
Wait. Go ahead.
Okay, so
this was
he messed up, maybe. Maybe he messed up and got separated, made a mistake, but now he's getting, so that shouldn't be a death sentence, all right? He shouldn't have to die because he was underage and had a gun, and now he's supposed to now he has to commit suicide because he got separated. Now what's he supposed to do? Okay, maybe he messed up, but now he's there. Is he supposed to commit suicide by letting someone take his gun and shoot him? Is that what he's supposed to do?
When you carry a gun and you use it, you're expecting to die. You have there's a black and a white, and there's very little gray. So yes, if
you carry the gun so you don't. You carry the gun so you don't die.
You just drove 35 miles to be in the middle of the action when you're 17 years old. There's that lot of consequence when there's got to be that's why.
To protect property that's not even his.
It's not even his property.
Yes.
It's not even
and
his.
He was asked they were asked to protect it. Okay, who's worse though? Somebody who's trying to kill someone for putting out a fire?
The people who asked him to protect it. Those are the perpetrators. Those are the ones who got in his head, a 17-year-old kid's head, to tell him that he did all right, especially when they threw water at him at the end and said, you did a good job. None of those police officers stopped for him. They were going to let him go.
That doesn't answer.
Well, here's the question.
He screwed up by being there.
One person at a time.
Just
one person at a time.
Yeah, just give me a second.
There,
why is every time
he already messed up. No, wait. I started already. He already messed up. He was cornered. The guy's grabbing his gun. Is the right thing to do at that moment to let the person kill you?
Yeah. Here's the question real quick.
Yeah?
Why every time there's like a riot with the